ladies, I got a great topic recommendation by one of our members here, and I want to dive into it. So when should we increase weight versus stay at the same weight and focus on form? There's a lot of different factors that play into this, so let's dive into it. Your form should always look great before you increase weight. So you should never be iffy about a certain movement or iffy if you're doing it right before you increase your weight. So that's number one, making sure that your form does look great, but what does that really mean? So number one, a full range of motion. If I'm doing a goblet squat and I have my dumbbell here, I should be able to go at least parallel. So I'm gonna push my knees away from each other. I'm going to get down into that squat. And if you're coming around here, and this is as far as you can go, we want to work on getting lower before you increase that weight, okay? So whatever that looks like to you. But if you aren't able to go, sit into a chair here and stand up and feel it in the right spots, then you need to focus on increasing that range before you increase your weight. We also want to make sure we're feeling it in the right areas. So if you're sitting in that squat, but you're feeling everything in your low back, that means that your core is not strong enough. Maybe your legs aren't strong. We want to make sure we're feeling it in the right areas. If you're doing a squat, you should feel it in your quads, your legs, your glutes. You might feel a little bit of tightness in your low back if you've been sitting all day or you haven't warmed up fully, but we don't want to feel most of the movement in our low back. That's not what we're looking for here. You do feel it in a goblet squat. You will feel a lot of it in your core as well. That's all fine. One may seem like a no-brainer, but we want to be pain-free. So there should be no pain in your movement. You should not be increasing weight if you're still feeling pain in using 10 pounds. You shouldn't move up to 15 to get rid of the pain. We want to move pain-free. So there's probably something wrong with your movement pattern, something wrong with your form that we need to fix, and maybe you're not recovered well either, which brings me to my next one. We want to be recovered well. If you're going to PR, if you're going to increase your weight, want to make sure that you've got enough sleep, you're eating enough food, you're drinking enough water, you're eating enough protein, and you're recovering well after every single workout. If you're super sore, if you're always sore, if you're extra tired that day or extra stressed, that may not be the best day to move up, but on the other end, it may be. Those things might not hinder your performance. You may feel great to move up in your weights. So listen to your body too. Make sure that if you're feeling a little aches and pains and you're extra stressed, that it's okay to step back, go down on weight, and just feel good and go through the motions. That's also a great time for you to focus on form and increasing that range of motion we talked about before. The last thing we want to look at before we go up weight is that we're moving explosively and in one unit. What this means is that, again, if I'm using the goblet squat as an example here, if I'm doing a goblet squat and you are going down into that goblet squat, but your hips come up first and then your chest comes up, that you're going too heavy or you just haven't got down the strength that you need to even move the weight you're currently at. So what we want to do in that squat is we want to move in one unit. You'll notice that my chest comes up at the same time as my legs. Everything's moving at the same time. And I want to think about lifting my chest first. If it's too heavy and I'm pushing, my legs are coming up and then my chest comes up, that's a great sign that the weight is too heavy and we need to go back down and focus on the form and tidy it up a little. And this also ties into the importance of videoing your exercises, right? How do you really know if that's happening to you unless you're filming? So make sure you're filming some of these movements, especially if you find yourself increasing every week and you're getting stronger. Make sure that you're filming and you see that you are going full range of motion. And remember too that you don't have to go full range of motion if you're, a certain range is pain-free, but you may not need to increase that weight until you are able to get a little bit lower. Next, let's talk about how do you know, so let's say all these things are checked off, your form looks great, you're well recovered. How do you know that it is time to move up? So in your workouts, usually you have a rep range. Sometimes you don't, sometimes you just have one rep recommendation, but let's say you have 6 to 8 reps. Okay, that's the goal to hit. Let's say that you can do 6 reps and you feel like you only have 2 more reps in the tank, meaning you could go 8, but you'd be pretty maxed out. Then 6 reps and the weight that you're currently at is great. That's where you want to be. Let's say that next week you do the same weight, but now you're able to do 8 reps. And at that 8 reps, you could do 2 more reps if you wanted to. So you did 8 reps, but 10 would have been either just as easy or maybe it would have been pushing your limits a little bit more, but you had 2 reps left in the tank. That's what this means, is you're able to do 2 more reps than what the rep range is that I give you. So if you are that 2-rep range is how we decide if we're going to move up. So let's say you're at the max reps, 8 reps. You could go heavier. You could do 10 reps, 12 reps. That is when you know that it's time to move up on weight. So if you're at a certain weight, let's say 15 pounds on your goblet squat, you're doing 8 reps, you're able to do 10. The following week, I want you to go up to 15 pounds, or did I say that? 20 pounds. So you're going up 5 pounds. If you're super well recovered, you do 20 pounds the following week, you're able to do 8 reps right off the bat, go up again until 6 reps is very challenging, but you could do 1 or 2 more reps. So you want it to be challenging, but you also don't want to ever compromise form. And your squat at 8 reps or 6 reps should look the same as it would on 12 reps, if that makes sense. So making sure that you have 2 reps in the tank always. All right, that's a safe bet. And that's how you know that it's time to move up. If the weight you're moving is easy, go up on weight, challenge yourself. Weight, that's how we build muscle. That's how we start seeing strength progress. After my heavy lifts, I am huffing and puffing. I am exhausted. My legs are shaking. You are going to feel like that sometimes, and that's okay. Make sure that you recover well after each rep, after each set. Make sure that you're resting the full amount of time, but it is hard. All right, I hope we really have a good understanding of when we should move up on weight and when we should just stop and focus on form. If you have any questions, if this didn't make sense, or you have a specific question that you're struggling with, please message me. I would love, love, love to help you and answer and dive in deeper with you. Let's continue to progress, challenge yourself. You can do hard things.